Out of this shit, Mom.
Well, she's like, don't show me off.
Oh, Tamika was summoned by Dr. Pepper.
Tamika, hi. Dr. Pepper is awesome.
Y'all loving Dr. Pepper. I'm a Diet Coke girl. I can't deny it. I think Diet Coke with orange tastes like Christmas.
So do you not drink Dr. Pepper at all?
No, I do. Our Taco Bell has the wrong dispensing amount on their Dr. Pepper, and that's the only Dr. Pepper I drink.
Because it's strong or because it's not strong?
It's extra strong. So it's extra good. So now I can't drink other Dr. Peppers because I'm like, well, it's not as good.
Okay. Interesting. I just drink it just straight out of the can.
I mean, I do too. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just saying. Yeah, Peace had to already make her appearance, guys. She was like, wait a minute. I've been summoned. How's everyone? In the chat.
Hello.
And how are you, Laura? How was your day?
I'm doing great. This is my very first live stream that I'm hosting, and I get a kitty, and Izzy was so excited. I'm going to be starting a Wolfsong. I don't have any tissues in here, so it better not be sad in the first 40 pages.
No, it'll be the later half. Just be ready. It's very lyrical. Yeah. It's a very unique writing. It's very unique. Like I don't know how else to describe Wolfsong besides it being like super duper unique and like a good way. But just be ready. Like you're gonna be like, what? So write it out. It's worth it. I just finished Wolfsong this afternoon, and it was.
Which is the third book.
Yes, I cried a little. So I didn't cry in Wolfsong. I might be broken. Y'all are getting some cat ASMR. Sorry.
But I don't think Crystal's here, but she was the one who was talking about this tea. It's sugar cookie sleigh ride tea, celestial seasonings. And I was like, that sounds delicious. So I bought it, but.
Do you not like it? Did you try it?
Well, I didn't try it yet because it's very hot. I steeped it right before, like 5 minutes ago.
Don't stand on the key for chat. Oh my God. She's sending y'all a message in chat. Oh boy. All right. Let me delete that before it sends. I just imagine it's overly sweet, and I'm not a sweet tea person.
I like my tea sweet, but it's it smells weird to me. Like it smells like
no.
I don't know. It smells like a cookie, but also it sort of smells like Play-Doh.
What? No. So salty?
Well, not salty, but okay. It smells like what your hands smell like after you're done playing with Play-Doh.
Oh boy.
If that makes any sense. I know that doesn't make sense.
I don't know the last time I touched Play-Doh is the problem here.
I don't know. I feel like it's been years for me, but like as soon as I was smelling this, that's what my brain was like, Play-Doh. And so your scent is very strongly attached to memories.
True. Supposedly. I mean, I would probably smell it and maybe say the same thing. So who knows? I'm excited for the report back on how the tea tastes after our reading sprint for sure, because I do need to know if I need to buy it or not. Because it sounds good, but I'm also not sure.
Well, hi, Nicole. Hi, Sabriel, Belle, Aaron, Shay. I love all you guys. This came in a holiday pack. Like I wanted to try the sugar cookie sleigh ride tea, and then it was much cheaper to buy in like a holiday seasonal pack. And so it came with gingerbread and peppermint and cranberry vanilla. So I made my husband a cranberry vanilla, and I'm trying the sugar cookie, but it's too hot to drink right quite yet. I don't want to like burn my mouth. So I will report in.
Sounds good. I'm interested in cranberry vanilla as well now, so maybe I'll buy the pack.
That one smelled good. It smelled sort of like a Fig Newton in the box, But then it was very much more cranberry, like after it was steeped. So
You have the most specific smell descriptors. This is really interesting to me. Now I just want to
Hi,
send you
Heather.
things and be like, what does this smell like, Laura?
Well, what's weird is that like I don't really have a very strong sense of smell, just in general. Like a lot of times people will just be, my coworkers will be like, "Do you smell that?" And I'm like, "Nope." But I don't know. Unless it smells like food, I guess. Or my childhood, a la Play-Doh.
Yeah. It's good. It's not a bad thing.
So I don't think I asked you. Are you going to be trying to read or be productive this sprint?
I think I'm going to try to read. I'm either going to start the group book, Barista and the Bear, because I do need to finish that before Saturday.
That's true.
And I still haven't finished A Deal with the Elf King, which is like, it kind of doesn't count, but it kind of can. We're going to twist it and make it count. It feels more fantasy than paranormal at this point.
But is there romance?
Yes. Yeah. So that's why there's fairies and magic. Like, there's a real world on the other side of the wall. Like, so I don't know. We're going to call it part of the readathon. I started it expecting it to be a lot quicker of a read, but I'm also in like a weird.
Yeah, you said that.
Reading slump this week. So I don't know. I just can't focus. It's truly the issue. Shay says it counts, so I'm good to go. Yeah, I just can't focus really well this week. I don't know why. It's just a bit of fun time. If I'm like, I feel awful. I'm hosting this and I'm not reading anything.
Yeah, I hope we don't have. Oh, Heather, I hope that you find your Kindle.
Yeah, you got to go find it.
Yeah, you're going to need that. I hope that there's not YouTube issues like there was yesterday.
I know. I uploaded a video today and had no issues though, so fingers crossed.
I don't know. When I opened my app on my phone, it looked a little different, but I don't think that was YouTube. I think that was like, just like a YouTube app thing that would be separate. Tamika's asking for some motivation.
There's a cute ginger.
Oh, yeah. Barista and the Bear is a hunky ginger dude.
Which is why I kind of want to go read it now instead. I'm actually going to see if it's downloaded on my Kindle yet.
And also the main character of Teresa is not this like petite, delicate little thing. Like she's like tall and broad. And there's like multiple times that she's like, I've got big chunky thighs. And I'm just like, yeah, you do.
I like that. I like pretending I'm tall. So I love when I get to read tall heroines.
Yeah. And Shay likes it. She says it's a cute witch and shifter fated mates. And Heather also says the group book wasn't bad. Give it 4 stars. Yeah, I think so too. I feel like
I feel very good in my suggestion that it's been good, and most people have liked it. So.
Yeah. I sort of personally am kind of like on novellas. I think it's hard for me to find a novella that is well constructed. I always want more or feel like it wasn't good enough to deserve more, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes sense. Novellas are, I think, the hardest thing, quite possibly, to write well. Yeah, and I don't have a lot of authors that I recommend their novellas necessarily. I will read them because I enjoy them, but I think as you read more romance, sometimes you'll find that novellas are a nice quick hit of romance, if that makes sense, versus like something that is going to take you longer to read.
Heather says she adores novellas. So Heather, are you participating in Novella November? And do you have recommendations for romance novellas that you adore? And then
the other issue is sometimes I think with the novellas, what happens is you think it's a novella and it ends up being like a short story and it's only like 60 pages.
Yeah.
And
I haven't read nearly as many of those. I've read more novellas. I always feel like either I'm sinking into the novella and I'm really liking it, and then suddenly they're like, and yay, we're done. And I'm like, well, where's the rest of this? And you want more. But I don't know. I felt like the Barista and the Bear was really cute, really like fun, very light, in a like uplifting way. I was just happy to read the whole time. Um, but it did sort of feel almost more like a like first draft of a
Mm.
novel that then they were like, well, we're just not going to bother to fill any of this other stuff in, and we're going to cut a little here, cut a little here. Let's publish it as a novella. Done.
Oh, Heather has another one coming next week for novellas. Yes, I do like holidays as novellas, to be honest. I think that those are usually beneficial.
When they're holiday related.
Because I don't want to spend 400 pages in a holiday or 350 pages or even 300 pages sometimes. Sometimes I want like,
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Shay. I would have liked more for Barista and the Bear, because I was enjoying it and because the world is really interesting, because magic and all these other, shifters and witches and fae, etc., they all exist and everyone knows they exist. And so it's
Yeah.
very just like, there's
I love
no
that
like,
premise.
yeah, there's no hidden societies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there are more short stories. Like right at the end, it had a like excerpt from the next
There's
short.
3 out right now. I don't know if there's only 3 or if we're going to get more than 3.
All right, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try the tea.
Try the cider tea.
Oh, it's actually really good. I like it. It tastes like a sugar cookie. That's a very good description.
All right, I'm gonna check this tea out.
Sugar cookie sleigh ride, people. I liked it. I also added a packet of Splenda because I like my tea sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it was good. Oh, people said that the chat was not working for a second.
Apparently.
Well,
but it's
looks
back.
like everyone's back.
Shall we sprint?
Yes. So let's go ahead and sprint for like a half an hour to start, and then we'll come back and chit chat and see how it goes.
Sure, that works. If you end up wanting to do like 2 sprints, I can probably do that tonight. I am probably going to go off camera for a minute and go get Angus to come upstairs. So he's currently crying for me.
That's
so
fine.
We will read until 7:42.
Sure, that sounds good.
All right, sounds good.
All right. It is 7:42.
Yay. Did you cry yet?
That went pretty quickly. I was definitely doing a like moment just because
I forgot
like
about how
I'm
hard
really
the opening
liking
is.
Ox. Like
Sorry.
he's so No, I mean it makes you feel for Ox. And I was kind of sitting here being like, "Oh, my poor thing." And then when he like is gifted this shirt, I was like, "I'm okay.
Yep.
I'm okay.
I think that was
We
the
can do
one
this."
moment.
I've already highlighted a bunch of things.
It's so good. It's so good. I honestly continuing that series was such a good choice.
And like yeah. I mean, it's like a tender moment, but also the way that Ox like reacts to that. He says, "Something bloomed within me and I was warm. It was like this had burst my chest and I felt more alive than I had in a long time." Like that just really was like hit me right in the feels. Even though it was just like a touching moment.
That's why I speak
Until
about
till he said that and we were in his head, I was like,
yeah, like the way TJ Klune writes that, but the series, even if you don't cry, it's like you're like choked up and like I don't know, a lot of you know what I mean? Like just tightness in your body of just like angst almost in a weird way. I don't know how to explain it, but you're on the verge of tears constantly, and you just like want the best for everyone. You're like, no. I did read the short story Love Song, which is 2.5, and I do highly recommend it if you've not read it yet.
after the second
Like,
book.
yes, when you get there, like go read that one. And I literally like sobbed. I was at my desk reading on my computer, and I started sobbing.
At least you weren't like out in public.
I mean, I don't leave my house currently, so it's great. But I mean, I literally haven't left my house in 2.5 weeks right now because I can't walk because of my foot injury. So yeah,
Yikes!
I by this maybe this weekend I can wear shoes again. We'll see. I mean, I've gotten in a car to like go somewhere, but I can't like go in anywhere. So yeah.
Are you in like a brace or something?
No, I just have a 2nd-degree burns on my foot.
What were you doing?
I spilled boiling water on my foot because my dog tripped me.
Yikes!
Yeah, and hot pasta, all on the side too.
Yikes! Hi, Kristen.
So I'm a mess.
Well,
it's fine. Honestly, I should be reading more because of it. I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I got through 30 pages, so I'm happy with that. At least, so.
Tamika, what did you do?
It's okay. I have a partner who came home and just took care of me, so we're good. He was like, "Oh no." I was like, "You're gonna put me in a bubble, aren't you?" And he was like, "Yeah."
The roomies say that it sounds bad that your foot hurts, which I agree.
Yeah, it does. It sounds a lot worse than it ended up being overall. Let me just put it that way. I didn't have to go to the doctor. It healed up just fine.
So did you invest in some slippers that you'll now wear around the house when cooking?
No, absolutely not. I hate shoes. To the point at which I would visit my parents up north and they would yell at me for not having socks on because I'd be like, I'm cold. And I'm like, I hate shoes. That's why they moved me from Indiana to Florida, like to South Florida, so I didn't have to wear shoes.
That's the only reason, probably.
Wear shoes. I don't do snow.
I like snow.
Also, is the other reason. I like to visit it and I like to leave it. I like it to shut down the city so we can't do anything for the day. You know, it's more exciting when it doesn't happen all the time. Is how I feel. So I like when we get a dusting here and I'm like, ooh, snow. Wow, this is so weird.
Now, I grew up
And it
in
goes
Northeast
away.
Ohio where there was like lake effect snow from Lake Erie. And so it would dump a
Mhm.
foot in like an hour. No big deal.
So I spent
Okay.
4 years off Lake Michigan in Michigan, the Michigan side of Lake Michigan, and had lake effect snow in middle school.
Yeah.
And I think that also made me be like, I'm good. These snow piles are taller
Yeah.
than me, and I'm good. And then we moved to Chicago, and that was still cold and wet. I was just like, after that, I was like, I don't like snow. I'm good. Like, we moved to Georgia, and I've just stayed in the South since. It's like, this is
Yeah,
fine.
but I don't like being hot.
Definitely.
You're,
I'm never hot, though. I'm always freezing cold.
I've
So,
got enough padding to
I mean, I don't also not lack padding. I just am never like, I'm always cold still. I don't know. I've always been cold. I think
yeah.
I run low on the temperature scale. I've never, I mean, and I've done it. Like, I visited, my parents used to live up in the Northeast as well. And I was like, this is great. Okay, bye. Like, I just don't want to live in it. I think it's a lot to deal with when you have to live in it with like shoveling snow
Yeah.
out of your driveway and all that.
Yeah, that's true.
I like the idea and the aesthetic of snow. So I like to go sit in a cabin and be around the snow, but I don't want to be out
Yeah.
in the snow or deal with
Yeah,
the snow.
my husband and I lived in West Virginia for a little while, and everyone there, like when we got like 2 inches of snow, they'd be like, "Oh, shut it down, shut it down. School's called off, forget it." And I was just sitting there being like, "You could sweep this with a broom."
Well, then if you don't have the
What?
infrastructure, I mean,
The
if you don't have the infrastructure for it, like here, we shut down for like a dusting because we don't
the
have
salt trucks and everything.
anything. Yeah.
I mean, by the time we get to like January, well, like late February, and everything is just turned into this like slush of that you have to like slog through, then it's a
Mhm.
little less fun. But
Yeah. I'm seeing all of these snow freaks in the comments, y'all that like snow. You're strange. I'll never understand.
Mayor, good luck on your sprints. Thanks for
Yes,
coming.
have fun.
I didn't even know you were here. Um, that's true. I think that she says here 2 inches of snow is slippery and more
Mhm.
snow is better. I will say that if you are, like you were saying, if you don't have the infrastructure or the snow, plows or the salt trucks to take care of it, and people who are not used to driving in it, then that's like more dangerous
Yeah.
than when you're in an area where you
Well,
regularly get snow.
truly. And that's a big key. You have to remember when you look at the South and go, oh my gosh, these idiots can't do anything. It's like, no, we have like 2 plows. Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. My
Amen,
AC is
Shay.
pretty cold, I feel like. I don't know.
That's true. Like I feel like in places that are regularly hot in the summer, they just like blast the AC and it's like
They do.
jarring to go from
Yes. So
90
like I'll
something
wear
inside to
dresses all
60.
summer and have a jean jacket with me because everywhere inside is so cold. Yeah.
Walking in
Yeah, I
Manhattan
don't like
snow is
city
the
snow.
grossest ever.
It is. I've done that. I've done
Yeah.
New York City in the winter and ugh, that snow is nasty. Same thing in like Chicago.
Yeah.
Seasons. I mean, I have 2 seasons. It's hot and then not hot. And then like
Yeah.
maybe a week of like possible snow. So 3 seasons.
One of my best friends lives in Tucson. And so she messaged me maybe like a week ago. She goes, "Oh my God, it didn't hit 90 today." And I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
But she misses the like the leaves and stuff.
I'd see
That's what she
that.
told me.
I mean, it's nice here. I'm literally 2 hours to the mountains, 3 hours to the beach. So I'm like right smack dab in the middle. Could go to whatever I want. So I go look at leaves or I can go sit on the beach.
Well, it's a really rough life, isn't it?
It's real hard. I mean, I'll take it. It's a nice central location.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, Nicole said it was in the 90s last week. Oh. We hit 80
Nicole said it was
yesterday.
in
Bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Tamika, that's no fun. Hopefully that just means everything closes, though. I know
We
where my
didn't hit
parents
quite. We didn't hit quite 90 where I am last week, but just like 2 days ago, it was 77. It was gorgeous, beautiful.
Mhm.
And I like turned on the radio and was just like scanning through, and I found some Christmas music, and I was like, it felt so jarring to be like, sleigh bells ring. And I look over and it's like 77 degrees. And I'm like, I mean, I think that's what
Love it.
Australians deal with all
Yep.
the time. But
I always buy a planner kit every year from a shop I like. She's in Australia and she does like an Australian Christmas kit with like the beach and stuff. And I always get it because I'm like, well, it's not snow here. Yeah, New England, definitely you're gonna get a lot of snow up there. No, thank you.
yeah. I considered going to University of Rochester in New York when I was like college hunting. And I remember asking someone like, oh, like what kind of snow do you guys get here? And, you know, I'm sort of used to snow, but at the same time they were like, oh yeah, we get like, you know, feet and feet and feet. And I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, like, no, thank you. My mom, my parents lived in Massachusetts, like just over from Connecticut. And she would literally be like, so I just bought groceries for the next 2 weeks. Your dad's traveling and I don't know if I'm going to be able to leave the house. I was like, wow.
yeah. Well, we had 5 days or so of weather here in Ohio. It was gorgeous. And then today it suddenly dropped back down and was like, oh yeah, November? Okay, that sounds good. We're back on schedule.
Yeah, we're
so
similar here. We had a heat wave last week and then now we're dropping back to the 60s by Saturday, which is about on par for us. Our cold doesn't hit until like December, January. We usually get snow in February if we get it.
Yeah. But you're in Georgia now?
No, South Carolina.
South Carolina. So do you get snow every year or not really?
Let's see. I've lived here for 5 years, 6 years. I think we've gotten snow almost every year I've lived here. But snow, like, you know.
Yeah.
There's been a couple that have been like a good chunk of snow, like maybe 3-4 inches, but usually we're talking a dusting.
Yeah.
Ice
this was
really
because this comment that Nicole made. Nicole's my cousin, and so she is saying one year they were snowed in visiting us, and it took hours. It did to dig them out and down the driveway, and because of that lake effect, 20 minutes down the road, and
nothing. That's right. Lake effect snow still blows my mind, like how it can literally be 20 minutes away, nothing.
Yeah. So how far did you get into Barista and the Bear? I don't think I asked you that.
I'm about 31 pages in, 31, chapter 2. I'm really liking it. It's very cute. I mean, it feels like a solid 3.5 star read for a novella so far. I feel like I got burned by Power of Hades last week for the paranormal readathon. So I just feel like if I like it more than that, I'm going to be pretty happy because I was seeing
people were annoyed with that one.
Well, because that one felt like a novel truly chopped up into 3 parts.
Oh.
Which I'm not against serialization of books, but like, I don't know. So it has to feel right. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like where the breaks are. And this just felt like slice it here and slice it here. And there you go. 3 books.
Well, I sort of feel like with both books and movies, each individual book and each individual movie still needs to be its own arc, its own story, even if it's in a series. And so it's like if you read some, and I think that that's why there's people who say that, like, a book that's in the middle of a trilogy suffers from second book syndrome. It just is a bridge connecting, the first and the third, and that's where all the story
And that's
was.
when I like stuff to
It's
just be duets.
me each. Right. Yeah. And it's like, I think that each individual book still needs to have its own arc.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Dana agrees with me. It definitely, that first book really read like a prequel novella situation. We just didn't get enough. I kind of want to continue because I'm kind of curious, but I also don't necessarily want to give them clicks.
Yeah.
Like, it is, I mean, it's a series going in. I just felt like it was just, I don't know. I would have rather it just have been condensed. And I don't always have the patience to read 150-page novellas. Like, just give me a 350-page book. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tighten it up,
Yeah.
make it a little better, a little more editing. So
yeah, I think, like you said, that novellas are difficult to write, and I feel like that's because we just don't have quite enough pages to kind of get as deep as we should.
mm-hmm. For sure, I do think, I mean, it's such a struggle to write novellas. So I commend anyone who tries, because I can't imagine trying to pack enough story into under 200 pages.
Yeah. So do we want to do one more sprint, maybe 25 minutes or a half an hour, and then we'll chat and then kind of wrap things up and be all done?
That works for me. If you want to, I'm down. I want to read more of this book, so either here or I'm gonna go sit on my couch and do it. Do you guys want to do? Does anybody in chat have a preference for time?
Heather, good luck putting your kids to bed.
Yeah, good luck. May the force be with you.
Well, it's 59, so if we do for half an hour, it'll be an even half past, and I like it when it's nice round numbers like that.
That works. We'll do that.
All right, let's read for half an hour, everybody. And we'll come back we're going to come back at half past, everybody. Well, this was perfect timing. I just got to another chapter. I shouldn't have started this tonight. I'm going to be so distracted tomorrow at work.
Oh no, you have to sleep. You have to sleep. The audio is quite good, but I kind of wish I'd read it because I wanted to highlight a lot more than I can.
I'm highlighting a lot.
So I may have to go back eventually. Yeah, it's again, the writing is just magnificent in that book. I also finished another chapter, so I was like, perfect.
Cool. Yeah, I can feel. I already have multiple highlights. Mostly, some of it is like, oh, this is a lovely sentence. This is pretty, and some of it is, oh, I think this is going to come back and be important. So I highlight that kind of thing too. I'm reading Wolfsong. Megan.
Yeah. Or Morgan, as I call her, because I totally blanked on her name the other day. I still feel awful. It's such a good book, honestly. I was so glad I read it. I'm so glad I've continued the series. It's good. It's very, I don't know. I feel like it's so different from everything else you get in shifter books. It's a very different perspective.
Well, I have so many, like, I mean, I think I'm only like 8% of the way in or something, you know, I'm very early on. But I have a lot of guesses already. And I kind of want to.
You can always just come spew things to me in Discord. It's fine. I won't tell you. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Evilly. Bye, Erin. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
I think it's worth the hype, actually. Like, it's one of the few hyped books I feel like is worth the hype. I also think, I mean, you may not like it. It is, again, a very, very, like, lyrical book and, like, different writing style than you've most likely read in romance.
I like things when they're done differently. You know.
I do, too. I mean, it was a 4-star read for me, and then every other book after has been a 5-star. Because I think I had to get into the world to then 5-star, like find the books to be 5-star reads, if that makes sense.
I find it intriguing that here at the start we have, I think, well, Ox is a main character from his perspective. But I think it's being set up that Joe is going to be a pretty main character. Is the implication I'm getting. And so the fact that there's an age difference currently, I mean, there's always theoretically, you know, it's not like one of them stops aging. Just at this point in their life right now. So I'm assuming my guess is that there's going to be a time jump at some point. But maybe I'm wrong. So.
I mean, I read it for childhood sweethearts / like second chance romance. So,
well, I have in the past not super loved second chance romance. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like pure second chance, I would call it, but it's you'll see. I kind of call it a both because there's a lot. If
it's second chance in that there was maybe something, maybe nothing, and then they separate and then they come back, whatever, that's fine. But it frustrates me to read contemporary or romance genre at large where there is second chance romance, because I usually either feel like, I always feel like the reasons that they broke up or that there's a split were usually like valid and good. And I'm like, I don't know. That's why I find second chance romance is kind of frustrating.
Yeah, second chance is always interesting, I think. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for coming.
I don't know if I missed anybody else, but yeah, thanks for hanging out. We will be live on my channel tomorrow night for extended sprints, 7 to 9 p.m. or later. Who knows? Might feel wild, or I might be asleep
7
by the end of the last sprint.
7 till 10 or 7 till 9?
7 till 10.
Yeah,
3 hours of sprints.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. 7 to 10. It may go later. Usually it ends up going later because we start talking after the last sprint, but
That's why I tend to sign up for the later sessions because I'm like, I want to hang around for that later talk.
Oh yeah, the later talk's always fun. Always gets a little wild. I love Wolfsong so much. It is so good. I mean, I still think it's like a solid 4.5 star read for me, but
yeah. Dana, do you have a good recommendation of a second chance that had a lot of groveling that you really liked? Sometimes I feel like when the couple comes back together, which is usually like the bulk of the romance book, there's sort of residual feelings that are left from the first time they were together. And like on the one hand, that's interesting, but on the other hand, if that is what is being used for, instead of putting in any effort as to their current development, like then I'm frustrated. You know what I mean?
yeah, I have my favorite second chance grovel is Day of the Duchess by Sarah McLean, which is what I thought Dana would recommend because I agree. That is the best, one of the best grovels ever. And one of like he gifts her an underwater ballroom.
Oh. Okay.
It's it's so good. That is also my gold star, like grovel second chance novel.
Yeah.
Does deal with miscarriage and infertility stuff. But I think it's really well done.
Okay. I don't think that, I think that's a Sarah McLean I've not read. I'm pretty sure.
It's probably my all-time favorite. If I had to pick one book for her to sign, that's the book I would pick. It's her most divisive novel as well. I think a lot of people either love it or hate it. Dana may chime in on that.
It's a heavy book. Why? Because of the trigger warnings you just gave?
Yes. Yeah, I would say those. Their relationship. They had a lot of misbeliefs about each other. Put it that way.
That they work throughout the book?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes. I have not read this McLean, according to my Goodreads.
Yeah, it's the third one in this Scandal and Scoundrel series.
Yeah.
That's interesting. She says it's the one book she would rewrite.
Oh.
I could see that. I don't think that in a bad way. I think it's just it's a divisive book. I love it. I don't know. I really like that story. I think you might like it because it is kind of a unique story in a historical setting, which I feel like you would enjoy, if that makes sense.
Well, okay, so I said something that was like, well, I said it to my husband, so it wasn't controversial to him, but if I say it here, it might be controversial.
You hate historicals?
I'm going to say it. I'm not loving historicals.
You have to find your authors in historical is what happens, I think, or your time periods that you like.
Maybe, I don't know.
Just not like them, and that's okay.
Well, I the problem is not that I dislike them. The problem is that it sort of feels weirdly, even though this isn't true to say, and it's not fair to say, bye V, it was good. I'm glad you were able to come. I sort of feel like most of the historicals that I have read are too similar to each other. And so therefore I'm just kind of like, I feel like all of them are the same. And I'm like, I just keep reading the same book over and over. And like, that's not very fair to say, I don't think. But
no, and I think, again, I think if you find have you read Tessa Dare yet or any of the bigger?
I read a bunch of Sarah McLean, but I've never read Tessa Dare.
Okay. I always feel like Sarah McLean brings a nice feminist twist to her books.
Yeah.
Personally, and I enjoy that a lot. And they're not like historically accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I think historical is hard. I really enjoy Sophie Jordan. I think her books are funny and kind of read like rom-coms often. Yeah. Same thing for Tessa Dare, I would say. Like her newer stuff especially is more rom-com-y.
Okay.
And you kind of maybe aren't going to pay attention to the historical factor. I mean, Tamika never thought she'd like historicals, and here she is out here living her best life, reading all the genres. I mean, I really read broadly across all romance. So
yeah. And I've tried.
You don't have to keep trying either if you don't want to, you know?
Well, that's the thing is like, I think, oh, thanks Nicole for coming.
Hi, Nicole.
I mean, I think it's mostly a me thing. I don't think I'm not reading historicals and being like, that was a 2-star, boo. I'm usually just being like, that was pretty good. Like everything's like a solid 4.
Did you continue the Joanna Shoup series at all or no?
I haven't yet.
Florence's book. So book 2 in that series. So like I said in the chat when we had it in Jen's thing, book 2 with Florence honestly is so good.
Okay.
I really think that I don't think the Rogue of Fifth Avenue is bad by any means. It's like a 3.5, 4-star book for me. But book 2 with Florence, and then book 3 with the other sister whose name I cannot remember, is also extremely good. Like I think those 2 books in that series are much better than that first book. But you need that first book to get to those books, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that book has book 2 has a happily ever after with no babies. That is quite good. But yeah, more modern authors for sure.
Yeah. I've read one Kerrigan. See, that's the thing, is like I sort of feel like I don't have a big backlist in kind of any area of reading. I tended in the past pre-booktube to find somebody and then just like binge that author's stuff. So I actually have read quite a number of Sarah MacLean's books because I found her a few years ago. And then other like miscellaneous people that like I don't see anybody on BookTube talking about, that I will skim past through my Goodreads and I'll be like, oh, this was the 2 months that I read 9 books by one author or whatever. So this year, and since I started my channel, I've done a lot more, like one by Kerrigan Byrne and one by Joanna Shoup and one by, the next. So I want to give Joanna Shoup another chance. I thought that the setting of the Gilded Age was definitely a different tone, as Dana pointed out. And it was definitely like just a different flavor.
And Tension by her is also a really cute novella, I think. I mean, again, it suffers slightly from the novella syndrome, but it was a fun intro to like, I mean, she runs up to a man and is like, hello, husband. And he plays along with her. So it's very funny. Okay. And they go on a train ride together. So it's like forced proximity on a train. So that feels like very different than, in a carriage up and down the whatever forever.
I sort of just feel like I haven't read a ton of contemporary, so I can't exactly say that that's my favorite subgenre either, but I feel like it's more acceptable in our current day and time, and therefore in contemporary, for women to be more broadly different from each other. Whereas in historicals, especially in like, a Regency, it was like there were certain expectations for women. And so I feel like all of the books that I read are either like, well, she's the wallflower, except for we're getting a book about her, so she's not really a wallflower because of blah, 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 blah. And, or she's like, she's really actually feisty and like wishes she could be more daring, but like society has put these constraints on her. And so it feels like every man is a rake and a duke and has a title, and every woman is.
That is kind of the construction of the historical romance.
I know.
Right? So it's going to feel that way. I also think, I had an author in mind and now they left my brain. Oh, The Rakess by Scarlett Peckham. She also has the Charlotte Street series, which is why I called her Charlotte, or something like that. There are 3 books in that, and those are like darker historicals, but they're not Regency. And then I was also going to say The Duchess War by Courtney Milan may be right up your alley. You may be more interested in historicals by authors of color, because those are going to skirt the lines differently than ones that feature white heroes and heroines, in my opinion. Like Beverly Jenkins and stuff like that, maybe more up your alley.
Okay.
I personally just don't binge. Like I don't marathon any kind of historicals because I get burnt out on them then.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm willing to give them more of a try, and I'm interested.
You should do a whole you should do a project where like next year where you read like some different historical authors, trying to find one you like. Yeah, I haven't read The Rakess, but I've heard it really pushes the boundaries. I was waiting on it because some people didn't like it, and I'm like, I don't feel like stepping into this yet.
Yeah, I'm also intrigued by like some American westerns.
Mhm.
That
I
I could get
recommend
behind a
the
nice
Old West
cowboy.
trilogy. Yeah, the Old West trilogy by Beverly Jenkins is so good.
Okay.
And yeah, Alyssa Cole has her Civil War series as well,
Okay.
A League of Their Own. So like there are options. I think you just
Yeah.
gotta
I just gotta still find it. I
yeah
haven't found it yet.
keep
Okay.
trying. I wouldn't be discouraged yet. And you
I'm
may
not.
just certain time periods to an extent. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Mhm.
I don't know. I haven't read a lot of like medieval historical.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, oh, this is interesting. But there's a lot of variety out there. You just have to
I
look
think that.
on the booktube suggestions also.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that like I just need to like find the ones that will work for me. But I just have been. I don't know. I kind of felt like I was really structured TBR in August, and then um, I had sort of a slump in September, but then I'm feeling good. And I was really excited for this readathon and to read Paranormal Romance this week for Love of the Night. But I'm just I decided a couple days ago to kind of leave the rest of the year to just be whatever. But
That's
yeah,
good.
I think you're right. Like finding a bunch of different historicals and kind of reading a wider variety might be just what I need.
Might be a good spot. I mean, I'm doing the same thing. Literally after this readathon, I'm doing okay, I have the romance takeover. I lied. But that's like build your
Yeah.
own readathon. So I feel like
Yeah.
it doesn't count. I'm literally gonna put together a TBR that's just stuff I really want to read before the end of the year. But yeah, I'm basically just gonna take the mood reading journey for the rest of the year, and I cannot wait. I have
Yeah.
one more
You
planned secret TBR video, and that's it.
hmm.
I have to get through it. But
I have some plans. Like I kind of do a buddy read almost monthly with my cousin Nicole from
Mhm.
See Nicole Read, and I have a plan with my friend Katie from Katie and Her Cats. So I have some of that kind of coming up, but like that's only 3 books, so
yeah,
I have a lot of wiggle room left.
that's good. That'll be
Megan,
good.
do you have a favorite Highlander book? Comics and manga and holidays. Oh, that was the other thing is I was just thinking a couple days ago when I was like, oh, I'm probably going to leave things wide open. I would like to read more holiday stuff.
Mhm.
I was sort of thinking maybe doing like a Harlequin project. I don't really know very
That would
much
be
about Harlequin stuff.
I can help you. I'm happy to help. I love my Harlequins. I don't read a ton of them anymore. I mean, I do. I like sprinkle them in.
Yeah.
I call
I was
them, they're
watching
like
some,
palette cleansers, you know? Like you can just like read one and like in a day because they're 200 and some pages.
right.
And they're just that quick. You know, they're like a novella, but with a little more meat.
Yeah. I was watching one of Sarah's videos the other day. I think it was one of her hauls, and
Mhm.
she was just like, I bought this Christmas book and this Christmas book and this Christmas book, and I was just like, well, now I want to read all Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be starting Christmas books next week, I think. Meanwhile, everyone who was reviewing them started them in like October.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. You got some Highlander Rex from Data. You've got to read Harlequins.
Yeah.
They're
Sarah's
they're
really
seriously so fun. I love the Desire line. I really do. I need to be better about reading more of them. But
yeah.
Blaze is also some of the Blaze Tiffany Reese's are delightful. She has a Halloween one, a Thanksgiving one, and a Christmas one.
Ooh,
Exactly. And those ones are spicy,
spicy.
especially for Harlequins.
That line.
Blaze is definitely Blaze is what is now Dare line,
Okay.
so they're more explicit. But they got Blaze is gone, and then Dare's leaving after this year, I think. And then what else? And then Desire's like the all the pretty covers. That's the Desire.
Okay. Why do they get rid of lines? Just when they're not doing well, or you have no idea?
Because they can. Because they can.
Because you like to read them? Is that what it is?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I meant to ask. I never had Audible Escape, but like I
Mhm.
know it was going away. So have you had a chance to our romance stuff? Okay, you don't have to talk about it. I see your face. We can be done.
Oh, I can't pterodactyl screech. We're on camera live. That would be rude. Did you see Bree's video in Love and Words? She literally had 6 books.
I saw it
6
show up,
books.
and it's on my like to watch list. But like I saw her post about it, and she was like, "Spoiler alert: there aren't many." And I was like, "Yikes!"
Those covers. I mean, really. This one's
Yeah.
fun. This one. I mean, hello.
The first one looks like she's like in disguise with those sunglasses.
I know. She's like a
Ooh.
celebrity in Nashville or something on this one. I just like they're like $3 at Walmart, and I'm just like, cool books.
Yeah.
Like I can't resist. Yeah, so I haven't done a huge deep dive because honestly, I just don't care. And I got Audible for $8 for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like each month's $8, and then I'm canceling.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. I was just like, you know what? I'm done with you. A bunch of the books went to Scribd.
Yeah.
So if you want to sign up for Scribd, I would do that. Use somebody's code, you'll get 60 days free.
Mhm.
So yeah, exactly. I've like flipped through and there's like nothing.
Yeah.
I
Megan
think I
says
have like 2 books checked out. And mind you, normally I had like a full checkout going
oh, that's a
on
bummer.
the other package. I mean, I understand why they had to get rid of it, but I just am so deeply disappointed.
Yeah. Well, and to not have another option or like, have move them over or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's hard because they basically like fucked these authors over on their contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't transfer much of anything. I mean, there's some YA books I really like on there, like Ashley Poston's Geekerella series is really cute.
Yeah.
And there's some of the books that Nicole's been reading for her book club on there I want to listen to, like Cozy Mysteries.
Yeah.
Penny Reed transferred, it looks like. I don't know. It's not enough of a draw, let me put it that way, to be like, this is worth my money.
Yeah. And that's why I never paid for them, just because I have multiple library cards and I'm, that's my shtick. But
No, in the same way, I mean, I only had Audible Escape because I could get it with my Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
And then I went to cancel. I did Audible free trial for 2 months, got 2 credits, canceled, got offered $8 a month, and I said, well, I mean, all right.
Yeah.
I'll give you $8 a month.
Yeah, I remember you talking about occasionally canceling so that you're able to then sign up and get free.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why not take advantage of Bezos? He doesn't need all that money.
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't need all the money he has.
Yeah, I'm bummed that they didn't keep those or I think it was, who was it who pointed that out? Yeah, I think that if they had just transferred some over, that would have been great and kind of kept people. I don't understand what the point of getting rid of a bunch of books is on their end of things, because I would think that the wider of a selection, the happier your clients are.
Yeah, I think it's the authors and the contracts with the authors that really did them in.
I see.
To me, that's my understanding, at least. Like the authors were not getting compensated in any fair capacity.
Yeah.
With Escape, so.
Well, and that stinks, because we all want to support authors, and it is not an incentive for the authors to keep putting out more stuff.
Nope, it's not. And yeah, like I said, guys, make sure you're checking Scribd, because a lot of the books that were on Audible Escape are now on Scribd. So just don't download the book if you can and listen on Wi-Fi. You'll be good.
All the tricks of the trade.
Oh, yeah. I picked that up from other people saying it. I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, this works. This is great.
Yeah, but it's really frustrating, Megan, that like only the authors that are already established, like I think Penny Reed is popular and is already getting, a decent payout from other platforms. And so.
Yeah, she can afford to stay on there and maybe not get as much of, or maybe her payout's big because she has so much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really read a lot of Penny Reed anymore, so.
I read her whole the Beard Brothers series.
I stopped after I have them all signed. I own them. I just stopped. I didn't care anymore.
I finished the 7 or 8 books that were in that Winston Brothers series. And then I checked out 1 or 2 others, and I feel like the ones that she writes with other people, I like less.
See, I like those more than the Beard. I like the rugby ones more.
Oh, I liked the rugby ones too. I liked those. But there was I started reading the knitting in the city, and I started reading there was a whole series all about Neanderthal something, and I felt
that's the knitting in the city.
Okay, well, yeah, I was less pleased with.
Yeah, I read those before I read the Winston Brothers, and I didn't mind it. I have some issues with some of her stuff overall, so I just was like, I'm done. I'm done trying, even though I own them signed. I was like, oh well. She's really nice in person. I've met her.
Sometimes her writing feels.
Yep, I feel that. I just personally am not a big fan of how she markets her romance. I don't like calling it smart romance, because what are you saying about all other romance?
That's true.
And then there's some stuff in the first book I don't like. I'm not going to get into it here. If you want to know, I'll tell you later. But yeah, there's some questionable characters in the first book in the Winston Brothers. So
I read that so long ago. I don't know that
no, you're fine. Nobody realizes it apparently. Because I had someone else tell me their friend loved it, and I was like, oh, well, you might want to check if they noticed this or not, because if they didn't notice this, you might want to have a discussion with them.
I feel BookTube has improved my reading with a critical lens, but I still feel multiple times I'll read a book and I'll be like, that was good. And then afterwards I'll look on Goodreads or something, and someone is like, well, what about this problem and this problem, and this problem? And sometimes it's things that I cannot speak to. If someone says, oh, the representation of insert whatever thing that Laura does not identify with, I cannot confirm or deny that that is a true representation of that thing that I'm not. But sometimes they're like, well, this part here was a problem. And I would be and a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't pick up on that. And I feel dumb.
It happens. It takes a lot of time of critical reading to figure out those things sometimes. But I don't know. I feel that in a lot of her books in some ways. There's weird put downs around being smart. And I don't know. Like I said, I really don't like that being this is smart romance. And it's well, but what is all other romance then? Just feels a little too condescending. The further into romance I've gotten, I'm I don't know.
Yeah. I always tend to personally give people the benefit of the doubt. So part of me is well, maybe she's just trying to point out that not romance isn't fluffy. You can be smart. But yeah, I see your point exactly. As if you're reading anything else is not going to be smart. And I'm
yeah, it's just that thing where you're I don't know. And she is very big on her previous science background.
Yeah.
So that part of it also makes me feel it's more of a put down than you think it is, or than you would think or want to think it is, I guess.
Huh.
I don't know.
That's another thing that I also have feel like I've been improving through BookTube is knowing more about authors and their histories.
I mean, you could definitely search her on Twitter and find some questionable content as well around some things she's done. And that also partially put me off her books. But I'll never tell somebody not to read something. I just I hate it because I really wanted to like her stuff. But then it was oh, now you just put a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Thanie.
I'm waiting to find out if she's a fan or if she doesn't like her. So she wants to know all the tea.
All of my post-secondary education was me reading into messages from media.
Oh, yeah, that's hard.
I never got that. Critical studies on stuff that Penny Reed writes. But then, yeah, that's honestly that's sort of how I feel
fine.
I read a lot. I especially with movies, I'm like, it better be enjoyable, period. I don't care about the cinematography. I don't care about the story unless it has ginormous plot holes. As long as I'm like, la, 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 happy, that's fine. But for books, I'm trying to be a little more critical.
I get that. I totally get that. I was gonna say I kind of see this too. I think this is part of my fall off as well. I just kind of got burnt out on the sameness of her writing. Like I feel like when I pick up a new Sarah McLean, there's a lot of variety to it still. If that makes sense. I don't know. Like I said, I had some big issues with something that happens in the first book when I realized it happened, and didn't realize it the first time I read it. So this is why I don't fault anybody, but I was like, oh shit.
I feel like when someone writes a whole series of something, for example, like in her Winston Brothers series, like, you know, like Thady points out, each one of her characters is special in some way.
Yes.
I sort of feel like that is a frequently like a thing in a romance. Like I just finished the first book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood, and at the end of that book, I could not tell you, I probably couldn't even have named all of the, you know, the males vampires, but it felt like during the description, it was like each one was even more powerful and built than their last. And then each one had like a thing, like that one has the mane of hair. That one is the computer whiz. That one is, you know what I mean? And so it was just like, I haven't read enough. I'm only partway into the second book. So, you know, but yeah, sometimes it was sort of like, I'm not like other girls because I have this one thing that makes me separate.
And I'm way, way more sensitive to I'm not like other girls now, like later in my romance reading than I ever was like when I started, I feel like too. Yeah. And your taste changes as you read, of course. So
yeah.
That's why I said I never judge for it. I just am like, I don't know. I think I'm done.
Yeah. That's fair. Totally fair. All right. Well, it is 9:00, everybody. Yes. I really appreciate, Izzy, you coming and hanging out with me for 2 hours.
Of course. It's like a pregame for tomorrow night.
Yes. Tomorrow, everybody, tomorrow, Izzy is going to be running 3 hours of reading sprints on her channel over at Happy for Now. So be sure to go and check her out. I will be hanging out with her for, I think, 2 of those chunks of time. So if you want to get a little bit more.
Sure.
Okay.
Find out. They're coming.
So yeah, if you want to get more reading done, if you want to be productive on a Friday night, come and hang out with us over at Izzy's channel tomorrow, because she's going to be doing more Love in the Nights reading sprints.
And even if you're not reading paranormal romance, you can join us.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for hanging out, guys.
It was good to see everybody. Thanks for all coming.
Oh, that's perfect.
Finished 2 books. Awesome.
Amazing.
The chat has been great. Bye, everybody.